This animal you're watching now is called stoat, and please, before start watching this video, make sure you click on subscribe button and turn on the notification button for more video like this. The stoat Mustela erminia, also known as the Eurasian ermine or ermine, is a species of mustelid native to Eurasia and the northern regions of North America. Because of its wide circumpolar distribution, it is listed as least concern on the IUCN Red List. The name ermine is used especially in its pure white winter coat of the stoat, or its fur. Ermine fur was used in the 15th century by Catholic monarchs, who sometimes used it as the mozzetta cape. It has long been used on the ceremonial robes of members of the United Kingdom House of Lords. It was also used in capes on images, such as the infant Jesus of Prague. The stoat was introduced into New Zealand in the late 19th century to control rabbits. However, they have had a devastating effect on native bird populations. As such, the species was nominated as one of the world's top 100 worst invaders. The stoat is similar to the least weasel in general proportions, manner of posture, and movement, though the tail is relatively longer, always exceeding a third of the body length. Clarification needed. Though it is shorter than that of the long-tailed weasel, the stoat has an elongated neck, the head being set exceptionally far in front of the shoulders. The trunk is nearly cylindrical and does not bulge at the abdomen. The greatest circumference of body is little more than half its length. The skull, although very similar to that of the least weasel, is relatively longer, with a narrower braincase. The projections of the skull and teeth are weakly developed, but stronger than those of the least weasel. The eyes are round, black, and protrude slightly. The whiskers are brown or white in color, and very long. The ears are short, rounded, and lie almost flattened against the skull. The claws are not retractable, and are large in proportion to the digits. Each foot has 5 toes. The male stoat has a curved baculum with a proximal knob that increases in weight as it ages. Fat is deposited primarily along the spine and kidneys, then on gut mesenteries, under the limbs, and around the shoulders. The stoat has 4 pairs of nipples, though they are visible only in females. The dimensions of the stoat are variable, but not as significantly as the least weasels. Unusual among the carnivora, the size of stoats tends to decrease proportionally with latitude. In contradiction to Bergmann's rule, sexual dimorphism in size is pronounced, with males being roughly 25% larger than females, and 1.52.0 times their weight on average. Males measure 187 to 325 millimeters, 7.4 to 12.8 inches in body length, while females measure 170 to 270 millimeters, 6.7 to 10.6 inches. The tail measures 75-120 mm, 3.0 to 4.7 inches in males, and 65-106 mm, 2.6 to 4.2 inches in females. In males, the hind foot measures 40.0 to 48.2 millimeters, 1.57 to 1.90 inches, while in females it is 37.0 to 47.6 millimeters, 1.46 to 1.87 inches. The height of the ear measures 18.0 to 23.2 millimeters, 0.71 to 0.91 inches in males, and 14.0 to 23.3 millimeters, 0.55 to 0.92 inches. The skulls of males measure 39.3 to 52.2 millimeters, 1.55 to 2.06 inches in length, while those of females measure 35.7 to 45.8 millimeters, 1.41.80 inches. Males average 258 grams, 9.1 ounces in weight, while females weigh less than 180 grams, 6.3 ounces. The stoat has large anal scent glands measuring 8.5 millimeters, x 5 mm, 0.33 inches. By the stoat has large anal scent glands measuring 8.5 m x 5 m. 0.33 is less than, and x 0.20 is less than in males and smaller in females. 0.20 inches in males and smaller in females. Scent glands are also present on the cheeks, belly, and flanks. Epidermal secretions, which are deposited during body rubbing, are chemically distinct from the products of the anal scent glands, which contain a higher proportion of volatile chemicals. When attacked or being aggressive, the stoat secretes the contents of its anal glands, giving rise to a strong, musky odor produced by several sulfuric compounds. The odor is distinct from that of least weasels. The winter fur is very dense and silky, but quite closely lying and short, while the summer fur is rougher, shorter, and sparse. In summer, the fur is sandy brown on the back and head, and a white below. The division between the dark back and the light belly is usually straight, though this trait is only present in 13.5% of Irish stoats. The stoat molts twice a year. In spring, the molt is slow, starting from the forehead, across the back, toward the belly. In autumn, the molt is quicker, progressing in the reverse direction. The molt, initiated by photoperiod, starts earlier in autumn and later in spring at higher latitudes. In the stoat's northern range, it adopts a completely white coat, save for the black tail tip during the winter period. Differences in the winter and summer coats are less apparent in southern forms of the species. In the species' southern range, the coat remains brown, but is denser, and sometimes paler than in summer. The stoat has a circumboreal range throughout North America, Europe, and Asia. The stoat in Europe is found as far south as 41°N in Portugal, and inhabits most islands with the exception of Iceland, Svalbard, the Mediterranean islands, and some small North Atlantic islands. In Japan, it is present in central mountains, northern and central Japanese Alps, to northern part of Honshu, primarily above 1,200 meters, and Hokkaido. Its vertical range is from sea level to 9,800 feet. In North America, it is found throughout Alaska and western Yukon to most of Arctic Canada east to Greenland. Throughout the rest of North America, as well as parts of Nunavut, including Baffin Island, and some islands in southeast Alaska, it is replaced by M. richardsonii. In the northern hemisphere, mating occurs in the April to July period. In spring, the male's testes are enlarged, a process accompanied by an increase of testosterone concentration in the plasma. Spermatogenesis occurs in December, and the males are fertile from May to August, after which the testes regress. Female stoats are usually only in heat for a brief period, which is triggered by changes in day length. Copulation can last as long as 1 hour. Stoats are not monogamous, with litters often being of mixed paternity. Stoats undergo embryonic diapause, meaning that the embryo does not immediately implant in the uterus after fertilization, but rather lies dormant for a period of 9 to 10 months. The gestation period is therefore variable, but typically around 300 days, and after mating in the summer, the offspring will not be born until the following spring. Adult female stoats spend almost all their lives either pregnant or in heat. Females can reabsorb embryos, and in the event of a severe winter they may reabsorb their entire litter. Males play no part in rearing the young, which are born blind, deaf, toothless, and covered in fine white or pinkish down. The milk teeth erupt after 3 weeks, and solid food is eaten after 4 weeks. The eyes open after 5 to 6 weeks, with the black tail tip appearing a week later. Lactation ends after 12 weeks. Prior to the age of 5 to 7 weeks, kits have poor thermoregulation, so they huddle for warmth when the mother is absent. Males become sexually mature at 10 to 11 months, while females are sexually mature at the age of 2 to 3 weeks, while still blind, deaf, and hairless, and are usually mated with adult males before being weaned. Stoat territoriality has a generally misteled spacing pattern, with male territories encompassing smaller female territories, which they defend from other males. The size of the territory and the ranging behavior of its occupants varies seasonally, depending on the abundance of food and mates. During the breeding season, the ranges of females remain unchanged, while males either become roamers, strayers, or transients. Dominant older males have territories 50 times larger than those of younger, socially inferior males. Both sexes mark their territories with urine, feces, and 2 types of scent marks. Anal drags are meant to convey territorial occupancy, and body rubbing is associated with agonistic encounters. The stoat does not dig its own burrows, instead, using the burrows and nest chambers of the rodents it kills. The skins and underfur of rodent prey are used to line the nest chamber. The nest chamber is sometimes located in seemingly unsuitable places, such as among logs piled against the walls of houses. The stoat also inhabits old and rotting stumps, under tree roots, in heaps of brushwood, haystacks, in bog hummocks, in the cracks of vacant mud buildings, in rock piles, rock clefts, and even in magpie nests. Males and females typically live apart, but close to each other. Each stoat has several dens dispersed within its range. A single den has several galleries, mainly within 30 centimeters 12 inches of the surface. The stoat is an opportunistic predator that moves rapidly and checks every available burrow or crevice for food. Because of their larger size, male stoats are less successful than females in pursuing rodents far into tunnels. Stoats regularly climb trees to gain access to birds' nests, and are common raiders of nest boxes, particularly those of large species. The stoat reputedly mesmerizes prey such as rabbits by a dance sometimes called the weasel war dance. Though this behavior could be linked to scrigibingulus infections, the stoat seeks to immobilize large prey such as rabbits with a bite to the spine at the back of the neck. The stoat may surplus kill when the opportunity arises, though excess prey is usually cached and eaten later to avoid obesity. As overweight stoats tend to be at a disadvantage when pursuing prey into their burrows, small prey typically die instantly from a bite to the back of the neck, while larger prey, such as rabbits, typically die of shock, as the stoat's canine teeth are too short to reach the spinal column or major arteries. Do you know funniest part? They use to communicate too, just like human. But it totally different. The stoat is a usually silent animal, however, it can produce a range of sounds similar to those of the least weasel. Kids produce a fine chirping noise. Adults trill excitedly before mating, and indicate submission through quiet trilling, whining, and squealing. When nervous, the stoat hisses, and will intersperse this with sharp barks or shrieks and prolonged screeching when aggressive, but aggressive behavior in stoats is categorized in these forms. 1. Non-contact approach, which is sometimes accompanied by a threat display and vocalization from the approached animal. 2. Forward thrust, accompanied by a sharp shriek, which is usually done by stoats defending a nest or retreat site. 3. Nest occupation, when a stoat appropriates the nesting site of a weaker individual. 4. Kleptoparasitism, in which a dominant stoat appropriates the killing of a weaker one, usually after a fight. Submissive stoats express their status by avoiding higher-ranking animals, fleeing from them, or making whining or squealing sounds. Here's some facts about stoat, and don't forget to the right thing like subscribe, and drop the comment. See you next time.